Hi guys, welcome back to again Code with DK sir. So today's session we are going to discuss the different kinds of chart. Like yesterday session, introduction to Power BI. We discuss what is a Power BI, what is the business intelligence, why we are using Power BI, right? What is the advantage of the Power BI, how the Power BI advanced as per compared to advanced Excel, right? So today's session we are going to discuss basic chart in the Power BI, like column chart, stack column chart, pie chart, donut chart, funnel, ribbon, keep only and exclude, view data and export. So these are the basic charts in Power BI we are going to use. So DAX function we are going to like yesterday I told you you're going for the cover of the Power Query DAX function. So what is DAX? So DAX analysis expression collection of function that can be used to perform the task and return one or more values. It means calculation most used function generated in the result. At a simple level, DAX is the Power BI used like two things calculated columns and calculated measures. Like I told yesterday, guys, once you create any dashboard, so your dashboard based on the measures, okay, and calculated column, you are able to calculate the column measure. I mean, some maximum, minimum, right? That is coming under the measures. That's data types you're going to see here, right? What is the data types, right? How to convert one data type to another data type. Okay, so DAX data type index. It is possible to define the data type for each column based on your requirements and the appropriate data type improve the performance and reduce the size of data model. Okay. After that, you're going to see aggregate function. So here in DAX, I just given the overview, right? What you're going to cover up in DAX. Aggregate function, right? The mathematical function in the DAX are very similar to Excel mathematical and trigonometric functions. Date and time function. This function helps like plotting so like parent-child relationship, regular one. Relationship management system, you're going to see the relationship as well here, like one to one, one to many relationship between the data models. Okay, table manipulations and text function as well. So time intelligence function support calculation to compare the aggregate over time periods supporting day, month, quarter, and years. So this is a simple overview of the DAX function. Component of DAX data model. A data model consists of data calculation and performing rules and combines the create and the object. Like data models, I already taught you guys in RDBMS also in database, right? So data model is a description of data in database. Same here. Have you seen there? There are two types of data model: object-based logical model and record-based logical model, right? The object helps explore and understand the data set. Obviously, once you explore the data, once you describe the data, you are able to understand the data set first. So data model is a description of data, means where you can describe the data, where you can explore the data, where you can explain the data, right? So we are going to see practically how what is the differences, and here I also want to show the differences, like difference between the chart. Like sometimes what happens is you didn't know how to use the chart, but they don't know the differences between. So difference with the between the charts, understanding the various visualization types in Power BI. So as you can see, pie chart vs donut chart, right? So normally in interview question coming, what are the difference between pie chart and donut chart? So a lot of students not able to answer this question. So obviously there is a difference. That's why the different chart is there. So pie chart represent data as slices of circle, simple part to whole comparison, right? So pie chart always showing slices means pieces of data. Like suppose I have a student marks, I want to semester wise check the marks without the percentage based on the ratio. In that case, I'm going to use the pie chart, right? So here represent data slicing of the circle and simple part to whole comparison, right? Donut chart, what is is similar to pie chart, but with a blank center, right? Have you seen the donut chart? There's a blank space between. With pie chart, not. You just cover up all the part. Can display multiple series? Yes, we can display the multiple series here. And centered use for the label and values. In center, what we showing? The label of the data and values based on the data set. Bar chart and column chart. Bar chart vs column chart. Bar chart always showing the horizontal representation, right? And better of the long categorical level. So bar chart and column chart is a group of data where we can check the individual from the group of data, right? But only difference between only the axis different, right? Like bar chart, horizontal, column chart is vertical. Better for long categorical labels. Like suppose you have a long categories of data. In that case, you go for the bar chart. Used for the time series and comparison, like where you're looking for the period of time, like sales, like if I'm looking for the first quarter of the sales, like half yearly, annually. So in that case, I'm going for the column chart. So column chart showing the data vertical form. So there's a data is clear and more visibility as compared to horizontal. So it depends upon situation in which situation you have to use. So if we we have a long category of data, in that case I will approach for the bar chart. But once we have vertical representation of data, in that scenario I'm going to use for column chart. Useful for time series and comparison, right? It's going to use for the time series and be able to compare the data. Line chart vs area chart. So line chart display the trends over time with the lines, right? So line chart, what is the interval of time just showing there, and focus on moment and change. Area chart similar to line, but area is filled. In area chart, did you see guys? There's a filled with the color is highlighted with the color, but line chart is not highlighted with the color, right? And emphasize volumes and magnitudes. So that's a major difference. Like line chart, once the interval of time is plotting the data, right? So there is a not filled the gap interval of time, whatever the point will come as per the data observation, it will just simple draw the line. But area chart similar to line, but area is filled. Whatever plotted point is there, it will just going to fill with the color. It will highlight with the color. But in line chart, it will not highlight. Clustered vs stacked column chart, stack chart. So cluster chart I've seen in Power BI everywhere, clustered column chart, clustered bar chart. So what is it? First you have to understand. So cluster chart like a groups category side by side. Okay. What is it? Group category side by side and easy to compare the categories. Here we are able to compare the category easily. We are in the cluster chart. Whereas stock chart place value on the top of each other. We always place the value on the top of each other and so the contribution to total. Okay, means whatever contribution to come, it will come to the total amount, sum of the this. Right? So in that scenario, you have to go into use like some people asking like a side by side you want to perform. So we approach for an easy to compare category. So which one going to use? Clustered or stacked? So obviously clustered. Like if people talk like I want to place the value on the top of for each other. So in that case, I'm going to use stack chart. Okay. So this was all about your chart guide. After then, we are going to see the practically in Power BI. Okay. What is the difference between basically for each of them? So in Power BI, once you go, so like a table and matrix, what is the difference? Slicer and new slicer, what is the difference, right? So we are going to see the differences between. Simple click on this. Okay. So you have to load the data. After loading the data, you have to go to the compare. So in next session, we are going to see how we are going to compare the value like table, slicer, card, new card, multi-row card, how to enable the map features, right? So that is for today's session. Thank you so much and I'll see you next video, guys.